Next time on Casino Royale with Cheese.
Now, what Harvey Weinstein did was terrible, obviously. But if you're casting for porn...
I mean, if she's going to be giving out blowjobs, I mean, not saying it's cool.
No, I don't know how to twist this because it's all terrible. But
Changing subjects completely. Catherine Keener, who's never done a porn that I'm aware of, but
I'm not sure. I don't think it's listed on her IMDb.
if she did, you can email us at cheesymovie@yahoo.com.
Oh, God.
And now, the conclusion.
Houston, we have a problem.
I have a really bad feeling about this.
A boy's best friend is his mother.
Hasta la vista, baby.
Nobody puts baby in a corner.
Roads? Where we're going, we don't need roads. Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
Silent breed is people! Yo, Adrian!
Let's put a smile on that face.
I gotta warn you, Clark. They don't play the same games here as they do at them regular casinos.
Royale, too.
Because of this little double homicide? Yes, because of this!
Coming to you live from our studios in an undisclosed location of the 5 boroughs. It's Casino Royale with Cheese, starring your host, who his friends call Jelly. It's Shane Burns.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us here. This is Casino Royale with Cheese, the independent internet show where we discuss movies that were number one at the box office exactly 20 years ago. Episode 59 today, big 5-9er. And my name is Shane. Today I'm joined by the man who's talking to me. He's talking to me. This is Mike.
You talking to me?
You talking to me?
You talking to me?
Little De Niro thing there.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah. Was that Taxi Driver?
I think so.
I think it was. Because I didn't watch that movie probably until maybe like 2 years ago for the first time ever.
Is this our first De Niro movie?
Pretty sure it is.
Isn't that fucking weird? 59
a lot of shit,
episodes.
and we have not talked about any of it.
59 episodes, and this is our first De Niro film.
What's crazy is, if I had put money on what our first De Niro film was going to be, I would have said Scorsese.
It definitely wasn't going to be analyzed this.
No, it wasn't. That's what we're talking about.
It is.
The movie's 20 years old. Happy birthday, movie.
Can you believe that?
Yeah, that makes me feel old as shit.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah. It's pretty bad. Experience with this movie?
I think I saw it back then.
Oh, really? Like at the theater? Or?
No, definitely didn't see it at the theater. Yeah. I think I saw it on like a Blockbuster rental or something along those lines. It didn't leave a lasting impression because I barely remembered anything of this.
No.
The only thing I actually remembered from this movie was Lisa Kudrow was in it.
Lisa Kudrow. I always like Lisa Kudrow.
I think she does really good in this movie, personally.
I agree. We got Lisa Kudrow. The only thing I know about this was I had never seen this movie.
Ever.
Not once. Probably never would have had not been for this thing that we're doing here. And
this crazy little thing called a podcast.
Right. Yes. That is Mike. I don't know what else to say. That's Mike.
That's me.
Anyway, no, I had not seen this, and the only thing I remember was in the previews him shooting a pillow, pretty much. And so, yeah, that's it.
So pretty much both of us have almost no experience with this.
Right, yeah.
Which is a first for, I don't know if it's a first, but it's a rare thing for us.
Doesn't happen too often.
Right.
Yeah, yep. So there's that. Let's see. How's it going today, by the way?
Tired. Worked all day and then drove to Tulsa.
Mm-hmm. And then to an undisclosed location in the 5 boroughs.
That's right.
Yep. That's cool. I'm fine.
You know what? I want to mention real quick.
Yes.
Our live studio audience has the best manners.
They do.
in broadcasting.
We get that first initial what up,
Yeah.
and then they pretty much just keep it to themselves after
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
They listen tentatively.
No heckling, no bathroom breaks. They're awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, no cell phones are out. It's incredible.
Yeah, they're good about that. Good job, guys. They don't even applaud for themselves. So, we've got Robert De Niro in this movie. He plays Paul Vitti.
He does.
It's a good little mobster name type of deal.
It sounds like a mobster.
I don't know anything about the mob, but it sounds convincing enough.
Paul Vitti sounds plausible.
Yep. Dr. Ben Sobel, played by Billy Crystal. First Billy Crystal movie, but that's not anything really to speak of.
Well, this is definitely towards the tail end of his career.
Yeah.
Of his acting career.
It's
Definitely not our first Billy Crystal film, by the way.
Well, it's the other one.
What was the other one?
Yeah.
The movie with the fucking sword fighting and...
Yeah. Yep. Nope, you're right.
What's that called? The Princess Bride, yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Nope, you're right. Dude, I can't believe we talked about Billy Crystal before we did Robert De Niro.
That's crazy.
It's pretty weird, dude. Because I have seen way more De Niro than I have Crystal, but yeah. We got the aforementioned Lisa Kudrow. She plays Laura McNamara / Sobel toward the end of the movie. Mm-hmm. Chaz Palminteri. He plays Primo Sidoni.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Sidone or whatever.
Usual Suspects, right?
Yeah. There's actually, I was looking something up about him. Apparently, he was one of the guys that was the writer for the movie A Bronx Tale that featured De Niro and him.
Sure.
Yeah. Which I haven't seen that one either. But according to IMDb, it's quite good. But,
Bronx Tale?
Yeah.
Classic.
Oh, there you go. But yeah, so I didn't know he had the writing chops too. But that's cool because I've seen this dude in some other stuff. Usually it's bullshit, but you know.
Usually it's a bad guy.
Yeah, some kind of bad guy, but it's along the lines of like Cop and a Half or Baby's Day Out, like that sort of fucking thing. Like he's been in some bullshit too. So
yeah, you got to pay the bills, you know.
Right. Oh, there you go. Let's see. We got Joe Vitarelli. He plays Jelly, which Joe Vitarelli and Jelly put it together. I kind of love that.
Yeah.
Then I just put down that Molly Shannon shows up there for a little bit.
Okay. I got something to ask you about her. But
Oh, well, let's hear it.
have you ever found yourself kind of strangely attracted to her?
Yeah. I have indeed.
So that got me thinking about like funny women, period.
Right.
And so Tina Fey's a no-brainer.
Right. Well, Tina Fey's a really pretty woman anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
We just watched that roast, Natasha Leggero.
Oh, gorgeous. But the humor adds a lot, though.
Right. No, that's what I'm saying. Like, really pretty and fucking funny and smart.
Right.
Like, you can't be as funny as these women that we're mentioning without also being smart.
You can be funny without being smart, but that's when you end up with, like, Larry the Cable Guy sort of scenario.
Sure.
As opposed to Natasha Leggero that says something smart every so often.
Larry the Table Guy from Tulsa.
Oh, is he from Tulsa?
Yeah.
Oh, Lordy.
It's a complete act, by the way.
Oh, yeah. I've seen him talk in real life. He actually is kind of bright.
He had a stand-up career before Larry.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and he wore, like, cable knit sweaters and shit.
Oh.
Yeah. But, no, funny women that I also find myself attracted to. Like, most of the cast of that female Ghostbusters we were talking about.
Yeah.
I cannot remember her name. She happens to be blonde. And you saw...
Oh, the crazy one?
Yeah. Like, she's like that all the time.
Yeah, in like every role.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm Googling because I don't remember right now. But I almost typed it on my phone, Lady Ghostbusters.
Would have been a better title.
IMDb. Oh, man, that would have been a great title, wouldn't it?
Who would you call Lady Ghostbusters?
Kate McKinnon.
Yeah.
That's who you're talking about. Yeah.
I find myself strangely attracted to her.
She's cute. Here's the test. The real test.
Nope.
Amy Schumer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I find myself strangely attracted to her. But the part that bothers me about Amy Schumer was that whole, like, joke stealing thing.
Right.
So I look at it differently.
She's pretty notorious for that. Yeah.
Well, I don't think it was her. I think it was her writers.
Sister writers.
Yeah.
Well, I've seen stuff when she was talking with somebody about her like staff and their writing habits. She's like, it's surprisingly, we'll get together and punch out a script in like 2 hours. And I'm like, yeah, because you stole all the shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's real easy to write when you're writing somebody else's shit. But
Yeah. I actually seen her live.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Nicole and I left early.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I can't remember who her opener was, but she crushed it.
Right.
She was hilarious.
Yeah.
And then Amy Schumer came on, and you didn't get more than a big chuckle.
It's kind of a couple chuckles.
Yeah, from the audience.
That's too bad.
Maybe sad.
Would you fuck Roseanne?
I would, just for the story.
Yeah, I could kind of see that too. Roseanne's kind of aged like a wine, though, because I remember back in the late 80s, she was, not something that I would be attracted to, at least.
Well, you got to remember, she started her stand-up career as a, almost middle-aged mom.
Right,
already.
She's the domestic goddess.
Yeah, so we didn't see, I know I'll get a lot of hate for this, but, when women are young and they're in their, mid-20s,
Right.
they're, peaking.
Right.
And guys, for us, it's mid-20s, we're peaking.
I think, I know with me, it was my late teens. But yeah, it's been downhill ever since that.
But after that, okay, so I don't even have to tie it down to just women, but, humans in general, we go down the stereotypical beauty types.
Right.
Except for Jennifer Gardner, she keeps getting hotter, and Jennifer Lopez has defied all odds. She's 50. She's getting ready to turn 50 and still looks the same she did as a fly girl.
Tom Cruise, I would say, also.
Okay, I'll give you that, Tom Cruise.
Fix that tooth in the middle of his fucking
Can't do
face.
it. It's part of his thing. Yeah.
I
No, I'm
guess.
with you. Tom Cruise hasn't aged at all.
No.
But other than that, yes, both men and women do age more gracefully.
Right.
But we all hit our peak at a certain point. And with Roseanne, we never saw her peak.
We never did. I think she looks better 30 years later, though, than she did, back in the 80s. So.
She looks like a crazy old lady.
I mean, she's had a bunch of work done, but it's whatever.
Yeah.
If I had that kind of money to spend, I'd be looking pretty fly, too. But I don't. So I don't. That's pretty much all I had as far as the cast goes on this thing.
There wasn't a whole lot of names, and a lot of part players.
Yeah. You get your Goombas in this movie. There's a ton of these mafioso Italian dudes running around, but very few of them make any sort of real impact to the film, so. Overall, let's take a look at some budget, Mike.
Hold on, before we get there, I want to say something that I
please.
thought caught me off guard right away.
Yes.
This is a Harold Ramis movie.
It is a Harold Ramis movie.
Speaking of Ghostbusters, bringing it back together.
Yeah, he wrote and starred in that.
Yeah.
I actually mentioned that in my summary. Do you want me to do the summary real quick?
Before numbers? Yeah, let's do that.
Sure.
Why not?
Sure.
Let's mix it up a bit.
Let's get a little wild here. What do you say?
Hey, what do you guys think?
Right.
All right.
Give us your Twitter post. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hashtag summary before.
It's a long hashtag.
Right? Okay. Analyze this. From the acclaimed director that brought us Caddyshack, National Lampoon's Vacation, and Groundhog Day comes the final career death rattle of Harold Ramis with Analyze This, released March 5th, 1999. As the film opens, we meet mob boss Paul Vitti, who is discussing an upcoming meeting between the various mafia families and his consigliere Dominic.
With a bunch of cool-ass cars, by the way. I have to throw that in there.
Yeah.
This opening scene has a
good
lot
stuff.
of cool cars.
There are a lot of expensive cars in this movie. The conversation is cut short, however, as Dominic is soon killed in a mafia hit by Primo Sindoni, the head of a rival gang. Vitti soon finds himself having psychological issues from the attack and seeks the help of a psychiatrist. As luck would have it, Dr. Ben Sobel, a psychiatrist, is involved in a traffic altercation with one of Vitti's vehicles on the eve of his wedding to his fiancée, Laura. Dr. Sobel leaves his business card for insurance purposes. Seems that Vitti is suffering from a whole spectrum of problems stemming from the death of his father, resulting in Vitti's erectile dysfunction, panic attacks, and general stress. After a short meeting in New York, Vitti finds himself being plagued by his psychological issues and follows Dr. Sobel to his wedding in Florida, which is quickly interrupted by Vitti's men killing an assassin. Dr. Sobel and Laura go back to New York, hoping to continue their wedding a week later as Vitti's psychological treatment continues. On the day of the wedding, Vitti is stricken with another panic attack, and Dr. Sobel must fill in for him. After Vitti does finally arrive, he requests his resignation from organized crime, much to the chagrin of Primo Sandoni, who gathers his men to confront Vitti. Dr. Sobel is arrested. I meant to say Dr. Sobel is shot. Vitti and Sandoni get arrested. The end. This movie stars Travis Bickle and Mike Wazowski. The poor bastards' cartoon characters are even Jewish.
So there's a really short summary.
Yep.
Because that's how much was in the movie.
There's no story here.
It's a lot of gags.
A lot of gags. And I'm going to go out on a limb here and just say I didn't find this movie that funny. So its gags are kind of wasted on me. But
okay, so I'm with you.
Right.
I'm with you. Like, they didn't land for me a lot. But there's a scene in this movie where it all kind of hit me.
Okay.
And it was, I'll just jump ahead. Spoiler alert.
Right.
All right. When they're out in the pier and he's going to whack Sobel.
Right.
And then the shootout and him crying when he has what's his fucking name? Vitti?
Vitti.
Yeah, when Vitti has his breakthrough and he's crying and he can't hold up his gun and all that other stuff. Mm-hmm. This is a spoof film.
Yeah, it is.
It's spoofing all the mafia films.
Right.
Which is ironic because De Niro's been in his fair share.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's all the way back to, like, Godfather Part 2. And, of course, we got the freaking Casino and, of course, Goodfellas. And the Heat.
Right.
All that stuff.
Yeah, so it's a spoof of all those films. Mm-hmm. This is like the behind the looking glass of mafia movies.
Right. No, that's exactly what it is.
And then when you realize that, well, for me, when I realized that, it made a little bit more sense.
The only problem that I have with that is this movie I consider it to be kind of a spoof, but since it is set in a real world scenario, then you don't have the ability to get too crazy with it like you would in a regular spoof movie. I mean, it still is a higher brow than I would say the movie like Mafia is with Jay Moore and all that shit. Like that one's a pretty lowbrow, just really silly, goofy sight gags, everything, movie. And I actually kind of preferred that just because it was so crazy that I got more entertainment out of it.
Well, and you know what it is. It's not, it doesn't, no, I'm saying it's a spoof. Like it's not trying to disguise itself as a real movie.
No.
I mean, you got two Hall of Fame actors.
Right.
In the movie, you expect more.
You kind of do. The whole idea is that, there was some guy in a board meeting somewhere that said, what if we made a gangster movie, but it's Robert De Niro, and he cries? And like that, they wrote a movie around that one sentence, basically.
Oh, I'm so glad you said that sentence. Because how fucking terrible was it watching De Niro act through crying?
His cry is horrible. Really, really bad.
And he does it like 3 or 4 times in this movie.
At least twice that I know of. Yeah.
And it's really like...
yeah. Like openly sobbing. Ridiculous.
Not a single tear.
No, not at all. There's some people that can tear up on command.
I've heard all kinds of stories about like tweezing out pubic hairs to like draw a couple tears.
Really?
Like they have tweezers in their pocket, and then when they have to cry, they start plucking them.
Oh, I would just put vapor rub under my eyes.
But you can see that on camera.
I guess. Haven't powdered it.
But I've heard all kinds of techniques.
Taking out nose hairs and stuff, that'd probably do it.
The older I get, the easier it is for me to cry, not for acting purposes. So I don't think it'd be that hard for me at this point. I just
cry a lot, Mike.
I do. You know what gets me going?
What?
Little kids succeeding.
Oh.
Like
I don't care about that.
Like America's Got Talent.
Oh.
Like a 7-year-old gets up there and belts out like a Whitney Houston song. Oh, fire up the waterworks, ladies and gentlemen.
Get outta here.
I'm not fucking with you.
Did you see that one girl that was on the American version of it? Because I don't watch fucking Britain's Got Talent, but I'm sure you guys do, and I'm proud of you for it. But that's all. The girl that screeched and people kept comparing her to Janis Joplin and
I don't know. Are you talking about the girl who danced all crazy and stuff?
Looking weird.
She was throwback.
But people were like, oh man, you just don't like Janis Joplin. Because I did not like that girl. And I was like, no, because Janis Joplin didn't screech at you. She could actually carry a tune. And not all of her shit sounded like that.
First of all,
to me,
you know I saw her because we would talk about that season.
Of course.
Secondly, I get what they're saying. Yes, you can't. It's not fair to compare to Janis Joplin, but she's out there. She's a little girl.
Yeah, I just found it annoying, and it's really not my style as far as vocals go.
The wifey didn't like her either, actually.
Oh, your wife?
Yeah.
Because neither did mine, so.
Yeah.
Love it or hate it, I guess that sort of thing. Hey, let's do budget real quick.
Damn, we skipped all that.
Yeah,
we went deep into it right
over
away.
that, yeah. This movie made on a budget of $80 million.
Wow. De Niro and Billy Crystal cost a lot.
Yeah, they got kind of out of control with
20
that
apiece,
one.
I
Well,
bet.
and it's Harold Ramis, too, that you're hiring on, so.
20 apiece.
You think so?
Yeah.
Ooh, I don't know about that.
15?
For Billy Crystal?
Billy Crystal and Robert De Niro, I guarantee you got the same paycheck.
I don't know if I would bet on that.
They co-starred. You kind of have to pay them at the same rate.
Yeah, I guess. Maybe. I don't think Lisa Kudrow got that much.
No.
But no.
Unfortunately.
No.
Lisa, because you were the saving grace of this film.
She actually was. I liked her a lot in this. But how much do you think it brought in total in the U.S.?
So it cost $80 to make it.
$80 million.
They definitely didn't make their money back.
Why don't you hammer down a number there, fella?
I'm going to say $53 million.
I would say you're wrong by literally half of it. Actually brought in $106 million, almost 107.
Holy
twice as much as you
shit,
guessed.
Mike.
Yeah, way off, bro.
Wow.
100% off.
That might be my biggest miss so far.
Yeah, it's a big one. Altogether, total. I don't know how they did budgets back then, if they did it the same way or not, because so it went on worldwide to bring in $176 million, almost $177 million. But if you think about it this way,
What are you looking at over there?
I thought I saw a blanket move on the bed.
Is there a ghost?
I don't know. I thought maybe one of our dogs got up here and was messing around, but
Is there a ghost in our undisclosed location in the Five Boroughs recording studio?
it could be. I'm sure a lot of people died here, so no. But I've said before that it typically requires you to get like twice of your production budget back before you start making money.
Sure.
But this thing only brought in $176 million, so that's just barely over twice that amount. But this got a sequel, so I don't know if maybe like their budget stuff wasn't the same back then. Like maybe the advertising budget wasn't as much or whatever. But
I'm thinking they just were like, we can double our money real quick.
yeah, that could be it. I don't. I remember this being kind of a big deal though.
Analyze This. I remember when Analyze That was coming out, like people were hyping it.
Yeah,
Like the sequel to the critically acclaimed Analyze This.
and you knew it wasn't going to be very good. So
No, I'm trying to remember even what it was. I know I saw it too.
Analyze That.
I know it's Analyze That, but
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to remember the premise.
Oh,
I
what
think they're
happened?
I think Robert De Niro's character is like on witness protection, and fucking Sobel has to like treat him something stupid.
Oh, like he's ratting on somebody? Or what,
No, he's just a
testifying?
witness protection because like he's not in the mafia anymore.
Oh. Well, they cut him loose in this one, so. But anyway, how many weeks do you think it was number one, now that you know that?
2.
Yep, 2 weeks. So
Man, I've been guessing 1 for a lot of weeks.
aced it. Yep, so not bad. Let's talk about some stuff here. Let's see.
Do you think the mic's picking up my ice?
Probably. I know my ears are, but I have
I'm
big
drinking me
ears,
a
so.
cocktail, ladies and gentlemen. My joints are lubricated.
Joints are lubricated. Whatever you're talking about.
About to get freaky.
Well, that's whatever you're talking about for you.
I think everybody's about ready to go to bed, actually.
I think you're right. So one thing that I noticed toward the beginning of this movie was that whenever that guy, he's pointing that gun at that cow, because the cow's like up next to the car.
Move!
Right.
You want to be a filet mignon? Get the fuck out of here.
I love whenever people like just are gnarly toward cows in movies. I think it's hilarious for some
The
reason.
cow responded, by the way. It got the fuck
Yeah.
out of there.
Well, like
Great acting by the cow.
yeah, he did. I was like, How did they manage to make that happen?
I don't know, because he like jumped.
Yeah, do you train a cow or
Oh,
what?
maybe they fucking like had tasers connected to his testicles.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, it's terrible.
We got the shot. Let him go. No, it cracks me up. I was thinking of like Me, Myself, and Irene when they fuck up that cow in that movie. And because you remember, like, he winds up hitting it or something, and then like he's like, "Oh, I got to put it out of its misery," and he like shoots it in the head, but it like doesn't die, and he keeps shooting in the it doesn't. It's just like mooing and gurgling and shit.
Shane, not a vegetarian.
There's that in Oh Brother Where Art Thou, where Babyface Nelson's shooting those cows. They're just getting pelted, and like they're still like standing. That doesn't even show them like falling over.
Want to hear a cool cow story?
It's just so dumb. Yeah, let's hear it.
So, you know, for those of you who don't know, I moved to Oklahoma the summer before my senior year in high school.
Sucks.
Yeah. And this is all pre like smartphones and shit, so I had no connectivity to like my friends and shit or culture,
Right.
For that matter. All right, so I meet a group of guys, good dudes. I ended up being friends with them for a long time, but they took me on like your traditional country hijinks stuff. One of them happened to be cow tipping.
Oh no, I've never been cow tipping.
So I had a buddy named Roy. I'll leave his last name out for anonymity purposes, but he was like, "This is how you do it." And I guess you go up on like a cow that I don't know if they're sleeping, but they're not moving. They're
sleeping.
They're just standing there.
Yeah.
Cow sleep standing up. Mm-hmm. Okay. And he comes over, and Roy was built like a linebacker. He's a big, broad country boy. He comes over and just trucks this fucking cow, and it falls on the ground, and fucking cows around on the ground and stands up and runs off. So he's like, "Your turn." I'm like, "Oh, I got this." So I pick my cow, small for what I figured. Like I figured it'd be good to go.
Right.
I go under and I aim low, and the belly just kind of swings out of the way.
Right.
So I land underneath this fucking cow, which commences to bucking.
Oh shit.
I was so fucking scared.
Oh,
I
I
thought
bet.
this cow was gonna stomp the shit out of me.
Crush your head like a melon, dude.
Luckily, I got out unscathed,
man.
but I was scared.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't blame you.
Don't tip cows, folks.
It's funny, when you started that story, I was convinced that you probably had told that one before, but I never knew you went cow tipping, bro.
Once, one time only.
You were good. Yeah.
I feel like you learn more and more about me as this podcast goes on.
Yeah, little bits here and there. I'm getting the full picture now.
I know what you did growing up was go watch movies with that guy.
Yeah, I did that. I played a lot of GoldenEye.
GoldenEye's epic, though.
Yeah, it's a fucking good game. We lived out in the country, so it wasn't going to happen.
You lived all over the fucking place.
I lived a lot of places. I lived in probably about 7 miles south from where I currently live. And then we moved to California, and then we moved to Kansas City, and then back to Tulsa, and then out to New York, and then back here. So I've lived in a handful, but you've lived in a lot of fucking places too.
Yeah, but a lot of that is military related.
Yeah, I mean, it still counts. I like Molly Shannon in Wet Hot American Summer.
So I haven't seen the originals.
Oh, the movie?
Yeah, I seen the Netflix picked up one.
Yeah.
I saw those, but I have not seen the what kicked off that whole thing.
Oh, you need to watch the original movie.
With like a really young Bradley Cooper.
Yeah, young Bradley Cooper. We got Janine Garofalo shows up in that.
Another one, female comedian that I've always been kind of strangely attracted to.
I think she's a really pretty girl, so I don't think it's that strange.
But she's like creepy.
Well, she is pretty creepy. It's weird though, because she'll like show up in different like TV shows here and there, like just cameo appearances. Mm-hmm. She was in like 2 Seinfeld episodes. She was in the finale of Mad About You back in the day. Like just weird shit. She just pop up.
You can tell how little there is to talk about this movie. 'Cause we're just,
Dude, there's nothing.
We're talking about everything else.
So here's some of the notes I took, right?
Okay.
The guy they don't beat with a pipe has a gnarly unibrow. What the fuck does that have to do with fucking anything? I was just trying to come up with shit.
That guy was in Sopranos.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
I wrote down, dude, I've watched movies before, like the Rugrats movie. I had like, I want to say like 50 notes that I took. With this, I have like 20.
One interesting note I have about this movie is this was released in 1999.
Yeah.
What also came out in 1999, Shane?
Everything.
The Sopranos.
Oh, yeah.
It started in 1999.
There you go.
So I wondered if there was any way they were kind of spoofing The Sopranos in any way. Because I know you haven't seen The Sopranos, but the main character, Tony Soprano,
Right.
the anchor to that whole show is he's under psychiatric care.
Oh, yeah.
He has a
I've seen
therapist.
that far.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So I wonder if they were kind of spoofing that.
I don't know.
I don't know exactly when Sopranos came out. I just know it came out in 99.
I don't know either. And I would guess this was in pre-production for a while. You don't just Sopranos came out,
Yeah, but
4
Sopranos
months
was in
ago.
pre-production too.
I mean, that's true too.
And you're talking about Harold Ramis, who's in the inn.
That is true. I guess he wrote that. What was that thing he directed that thing with Jack Black and Michael Cera where they're cavemen? Did you ever see that shit?
Year One?
Year One, that's what it was. I haven't seen that. I heard it fucking sucked.
I'm a sucker for Jack Black.
Well, I do like Jack Black a lot. I'll even watch like School of Rock. That shit's fucking
School of
funny.
Rock is good.
Yeah, that's a good movie.
You know you're a hardcore Jack Black fan when you'll watch fucking Nacho Libre.
Oh yeah, I haven't watched that.
Yeah, I watched it.
No, I'm out. I haven't watched the fucking Goosebump shit.
Pick a Destiny.
Yeah, I did watch that, obviously. You know, not my best, but my favorite part of that movie is Tim Robbins as the fucking knife-wielding, like, old decrepit dude that's, like, trying to get him to stop because he wants to pick too. And so he's like, come here and I'll cut you with this knife. They're like, no. And then they just walk away. He's, like, trying to hobble over to him. And,
I love all the Sasquatch stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good times.
I love it all.
David Grohl shows up.
Yeah?
It's nice. Yeah. You got to see him in concert. Boom.
Why is Lisa Kudrow's dad called the Captain?
I don't know.
They never tell us why his friends call him the Captain.
The only thing I could assume is that he lived in Florida and he had a boat.
I like to pretend that he was like a fucking ace fighter jet pilot in World War II.
That'd be cool. Yeah. With the, yeah.
Like a P-51 Mustang, the shark teeth painted on the side, and he just like...
I'd rather just be called a pilot then.
No, man, call me the Captain.
Yeah, fair enough.
And then that makes me ask what branch of service was he in, because the captain in the Navy is the same as a full-bird colonel in the Army.
Right. Yeah, they have like their own boat, basically.
Yeah, captain runs the ship, yeah. So it makes me wonder.
So one thing I was watching or thinking about while I was watching this movie is, and I don't know if you're tracking this or not, but I saw an article about it the other day. Has nothing to do with this movie, but whatever. I was sitting there like fucking around on my phone and shit. Like there's nothing in this movie. If you want a good story, you come to the wrong place. But
There's no meat.
there's no meat.
It's all potatoes.
Well, one of my last notes, and here's a good example. It's all frosting and no cake, I think is what Mike's trying to get at.
I like when no meat, all potatoes.
Well, there you go. I mean, it'll fill you up either way.
Yeah.
But, I wrote down that this seems like the trailer for the movie, not the actual movie. And that, like, this movie, it went surprisingly fast just because I was waiting for there to be some kind of plot
It's short.
to hold on to.
I think it's
well,
90
it's like
minutes.
an hour 45.
No, I don't think so. I think it's like maybe it is.
It
I think
is.
it's an hour and 43 minutes.
Yeah, something
you're
like
right.
that. And so, I mean, it went surprisingly fast. But that's just because I didn't have any sort of narrative elements to hold on to, really, or anything. So...
And there's some things that the film does that's just unforgivable to me. Like the scene where they're at the wedding in Florida
Right.
and that dude gets thrown out the window. Mm-hmm. Where the fuck is law enforcement?
Not a cop to be found.
Like all of those wedding guests just saw this guy plummet to his death.
Right.
Regardless of how it happened.
Right.
They saw it happen.
Yes.
And there's not a cop there.
The cop. They go up to Vitti's room and talk for a long fucking time.
He shoots a pillow.
Yeah. He shoots a fucking pillow after he murdered somebody.
He empties a clip
and
into
he's
a pillow.
packing his bag. While he's talking to Billy Crystal, no cop ever shows up. You can figure out whose room that is real easy.
He emptied a clip
Yeah.
into a pillow. Like, not a knock on the door. Like, is there something going on in here?
Right.
Another thing that
Ridiculous.
fucking drives me crazy is at the end scene when, like, Primo's thugs are trying to stop Vitti from leaving, and Vitti's guys all show up with machine guns and all this shit.
Yeah.
They riddle Primo's car with bullets.
Yeah.
Unscathed.
Oh, yeah. No, he's fine.
Unscathed.
It's
Like
retarded.
you watched the windshield, the front of the car, the hood, everything get lit up with fire. Mm-hmm. He's fine.
Yeah.
Not a scratch. Billy Crystal got more hurt.
It's not very good.
It's unforgivable to
It's
me.
not a good movie.
He's got to at least have like a thigh wound or some shit.
Right. Something. The only part of this movie that did kind of make me chuckle, I actually like his son in this movie. I thought that dude was funny.
Michael?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And they go to that SeaWorld show or whatever it is. And,
Yeah.
She's like, well, he seems to be having a good time. And Michael's like, well, I'm just pretending to have a good time because we're supposed to be bonding or whatever. And then Billy Crystal sees the two mafia guys that are down there. And he's like, oh, let me go get us some hot dogs or whatever, you know. And he's like, I'll come with you. He's like, no. He said, you're pretending to have a good time, and I don't want to spoil that.
Yeah. There's a couple of moments.
The only part that made me chuckle in this movie.
There's a part in this movie that there's no way it would make it on camera today. And it's when
Where they
Vitti,
drop the F-bomb.
the F-bomb, yes, being the...
Not the fuck bomb.
Yeah, the slur for homosexual man.
Right.
Yeah. They just say it.
Oh, yeah. They
A
don't
few
give a
times.
fuck. Yeah. And nobody's like, yo, what the fuck are you doing? You know, like...
The kid even repeats it to his dad.
Yeah.
His dad doesn't bat an eye.
Nope.
Was it that different 20 years ago?
I guess.
It must have been, because this is like a PG-13 at best movie.
I think it's R. They drop a lot of F-bombs.
Oh, okay. Maybe it's an R.
Yeah. I mean, what's crazy to me about that, and people know that I really don't give a fuck, and I'll say whatever comes to my mind, and there's probably going to be a fair amount of profanity in it. But the F-bomb for the homosexual, that just burns my ears, you know, and it wasn't always like that, but I think as the times kind of changed, I guess I did too.
It almost, and I'm not comparing it to, but it almost carries the same weight that the N-word carries nowadays.
I just try to stay away from both of those.
Huh?
I just try to stay away from both of those.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
If you want to keep friends in
let's
this
not
world,
go there.
don't use those words.
Nasser? Oh, where he's taking the wire off in the bathroom. That was kind of funny. Because the tape's like sticking to his chest hair.
Pretending to squeeze the shit out.
Yeah, and so each time he like rips it off or whatever, he's like, ugh, like that, you know, like he's shitting.
I like the scene where Billy Crystal is treating the married couple.
Oh, yeah.
And she was like, he wants me to call him Big Daddy. And he wants me to ride on top of him. And like he said, rode hard and put away wet. Pretty funny.
Yeah. And I like his advice. Why don't you fuck that boy's brains out then?
Mm-hmm.
Show him a good time, you know?
So look at the two of you. What are you running away from?
Right. Did you catch the shot of the old World Trade Center in this?
I guess I didn't.
No?
No. I normally do.
Yeah. It showed up there at the end. Did I tell you what I was talking about earlier, though? I don't remember. I don't know if I finished my thought or not. About the Breaking Bad movie they're making?
Oh, no.
Yeah. Okay, because I think we got diverted again. But no, I was thinking about this. This is the one I actually wrote in my notes. But I guess they are making a straight to Netflix Breaking Bad movie. And Aaron Paul's supposed to be in it. And
Is Brian going to be in it?
he died, bro.
Oh, so it's ending with that.
I think that it's
picking up
just
where
a
that left off?
continuation of that.
Okay.
Yeah. And so, but I'm pretty excited about it. I don't know, because I know the dude that wrote that in the Better Call Saul and all that shit, Vince Gilligan.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know his involvement, but has the potential to be good. So
Did you see that one movie that Aaron Paul starred in?
that Need for Speed?
Yeah.
No.
Neither did
I heard
I.
it fucking sucks.
No one gives a fuck about Aaron Paul. It's all about Bryan Cranston.
Right. Well, and I'm not even going to say that I don't give a fuck, because I actually like Aaron Paul.
He's a great supporting actor.
He is a great supporting actor. Without Bryan Cranston, he ain't shit, though. So.
He was a tweaker.
Yeah.
He was a lovable tweaker.
On
in
Breaking Bad,
Breaking Bad.
He ended up being one of my favorite characters toward the end of the show.
He had, besides Bryan Cranston's character, he had one of the biggest character arcs.
Of course.
But other than that, like they kind of switched places throughout the film.
They kind of did.
Or the series, I should say.
I don't think that Jesse was ever like a bad dude. He just made dumb choices.
Just a loser.
But by the end of the show, you would make the argument that Walt is a pretty gnarly individual.
Uh-huh.
Pretty rough.
Back to this movie.
Dude, I don't have anything else really to say.
Okay, fair enough. The one thing I did want to touch on is this movie could have very well ended when they got married in New York.
Yeah.
It could have been the end of the movie.
Yeah.
But they decided to squeeze this meeting in with all the heads of the mafia, which no one got hurt.
Not interesting.
Yeah. And Billy Crystal is the stand-in. He's the consigliere for Vitti. And he can't stay in one accent.
Right.
He goes between Jewish accent and
We got
Italian
the
accent.
Brooklyn and yeah.
Just back and forth, back and forth. It was so fucking annoying. He kept slapping Jelly.
Yeah. I don't know. If I was Jelly, I'd be like, you better fucking watch it, dude.
Yeah.
You just slapped around a mobster,
I'm about to
bro.
fuck you
Oh,
up,
yeah.
doctor.
Right. I'm about to fuck him up, yeah. No, it was in that scene, because I think that they thought that was just going to be like the way to cap off this super hilarious fucking movie that they shit out. I didn't think any of that shit was fucking funny either.
It didn't work for me.
It didn't. Nothing really, all that much was all that funny. I did like some of Lisa Kudrow's antics in this movie. I thought that she was pretty funny.
She kept it really subtle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she kind of played the straight man.
But Robert De Niro, in my opinion, maybe one of his worst acting jobs.
I agree.
Billy Crystal.
This dude won an Oscar. He's won probably several of them. But
Billy Crystal's always just Billy Crystal.
yeah.
He doesn't play any other character.
No. Monsters Inc., this fucking Princess Bride, Soap. It's all the same shit. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, I did write down, this is something I found interesting. So, number one, I would not drag my girl up to New York City. I would go stay with her down in Florida and just set up my new fucking office there. But whatever, because Florida's way cooler.
How much time have you spent in Florida?
I just like the tropical setting. Not very much.
How many times have you been to Florida?
I don't think I have, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Florida's full of crazy people.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
You can
Like New York City's so much better.
It's awesome. New York
You got-
City's incredible.
You got homeless people pooping in boxes.
No, that's San
and-
Francisco.
Well, there's a lot of feces in San Fran. That's true. A lot of feces. I've heard there's like a major like human feces problem in that city.
Yeah, they just poop in the street.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys probably need to grab a broom or something.
Something.
But so anyway, when he goes to Vitti's office or his hotel, whatever that fucking thing is, there's these women that are dressed up like mermaids.
Oh
swimming
yeah.
around.
Yeah, swimming.
Have you ever encountered anything quite like that, Mike?
Yeah.
Do they get up for air, or do
They have
breathing
air
apparatus?
They have a like an apparatus that kind of just is in the water. So like imagine like a snorkel mouthpiece
Right.
for a snorkel, and it just consistently blows bubbles. It's about midway in the water, and it consistently just lets bubbles out of it.
Right.
Because most of the time in those mermaid shows, there's already a bunch of bubbles in the water.
Right.
So they don't really notice them. And then when they're swimming, they just walk over, or they swim over, I should say.
They walk over.
Yeah, they swim over and they take a couple breaths and they keep to swimming.
Mermaids are known for their
They
walking ability.
stay underwater for a long time.
Yeah.
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 They're really good at holding their breaths.
That's good. So, yeah, I've never seen anything like
Important
that.
attribute for a mermaid.
Pretty cool. Yeah. Smells like fish.
Whoa. Captain Creepy's back, ladies
Yes,
and gentlemen.
sir.
I've been wondering where you've been the last couple
Right.
weeks.
Taking his time. That's all I gotta say. I have nothing else to say about this movie.
Unfortunately, I think we said all of it.
I would not recommend this movie. I didn't think it was particularly good, interesting, or funny.
I give this movie an
Yeah, it's kind of a eh. My point of curiosity now is, which would you say is the better movie, this or Rush Hour? Because I'd say they're pretty fucking close.
I
All
think
things
I would
considered.
give the against all my fucking. So I think I'm gonna give the edge to Rush Hour.
Really?
Yeah,
I just remember thinking both were kind of shit. So
I remember when Rush Hour first came out, and I thought it was pretty funny. It doesn't hold up well, but when I first saw it, I was like, that's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Chris Tucker was like at the top, king of the world at the time.
Of course. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, there's that. Did you do anything interesting this week? Work?
Yeah, this worked a lot. Yeah. I did watch a documentary that kind of is a buzz right now.
Let's hear it.
It's called Abducted in Plain Sight.
Yeah. Yep.
So I thought I was going to watch a documentary about this horrific kidnapping.
Oh, you were?
And how this young girl maybe escaped. I didn't know really anything about it.
Right.
Every time people start to talk about it, I tuned out, and I would just decided I was going to wait to watch it myself.
Right.
Boy, there's a kidnapping, but this documentary isn't anything like I thought it was going to be.
Nope.
And as much as I want to sit here and talk to you about the details, I know there's people listening who haven't seen it yet.
It's a crazy story.
It's a fucking crazy story. I'll give you this, guys, without spoiling it, okay? What's going to blow you away more than the kidnapping situation is the family situation.
Family's pretty screwed up. That is no joke.
Unintentionally screwed up.
Right. Exactly. It's one of those, they say that truth is stranger than fiction. This is one of those, yeah.
Yes, sir. If you made a movie about this documentary, you'd be like, bullshit.
Right? If you told them this story, we're like, and it's true. No, it's not.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up.
You guys made some shit up.
Right.
But when you hear the people who it happened to saying the story themselves, you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah. It's pretty crazy.
So you haven't seen it, go check it out.
Go check it out. I had a day off this week, which is kind of nice.
Days off are awesome.
Yeah. And I just watched a bunch of Seinfeld that day.
Really? You spent your day off watching Seinfeld episodes?
Seinfeld's hilarious.
Okay.
Shut your mouth. But I did get to watch. So this is an interesting app that I have found.
Hold on. Is there any Seinfeld episode you haven't already seen several times?
No.
What are we doing spending our free time watching Seinfeld?
Because it's hilarious.
Seinfeld's something you put on when you're like cooking dinner or washing dishes.
Going to bed and something. Yeah. I just put it on because it's funny. But anywho, I discovered this app called FilmRise. And Mike, you might be familiar with it. I don't know.
No.
But the way I figured it out was on the Fire Stick. I was looking for, because basically after Roseanne opened her mouth, then like Roseanne episodes were taken off of everything. And I have the full like DVD box set of Roseanne, but I didn't feel like walking all the way up the stairs to get it. And so I looked on the Fire Stick for Roseanne episodes, and it redirected me to this app called FilmRise, and I have it on my phone. And it's a free streaming service, but they have some old shows on there like Third Rock from the Sun and stuff like that. And every so often they'll get some decent movies. Like right now they have Platoon up, and Donnie Darko's on there. And they've had Memento for a while. But one that I watched today was 1984 on there.
Did you watch it on your phone?
Yep.
How can you watch a movie on your phone?
I do it all the time. Doesn't faze me at all. Put it up to your face. It's like a big screen. So these guys at work were like, "Ooh, that's not good for you," And I was like, "What?" And they're like,
"But you're watching movies at work?"
No. Whenever like I'll put my phone like on the nightstand or whatever right next to me when I'm going to sleep at night. And these guys were talking about how you're really not supposed to sleep within 5 feet of your phone or whatever because it emits all this radiation.
Oh, shit. Really?
Well,
I'm so fucked because I never sleep with my phone more than arm's reach away.
Yeah, pretty much. And I was like, well, you keep yours in your fucking back pocket at work all day, so you're going to get fucking colon cancer and testicular cancer and fucking, I keep mine on my coat, so I'm going to get liver cancer. And maybe if I sleep with it that close to my fucking head, though, I'll get some kind of really cool cancer where my brain swells up to be like 4 times the size that it normally is.
Like mega brain.
I'll get like super smart right before I die. Yeah. Like I'm moving shit with my mind and stuff.
I got some bad news for you, Shane.
What's that, Mike?
You were already as smart as you're ever going to be. And it's just going downhill from there.
Could very well be.
You were kind of a prodigy when you were a young guy.
Yeah.
It's just going to go down from there.
The knife has dulled a bit, Mike.
Yeah.
So that's unfortunate. But
Sorry.
all my good years are behind me, I'm afraid. But so I watched 1984. Pretty good. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. I find it interesting. Just kind of George Orwell's take on like this dystopian dictatorship that is the future. But it's fascinating, his interpretation of things taken to that extreme, at least. So.
And how many things he got kind of on the nose?
I mean, a lot of the real specific stuff he didn't get right, but a lot of the stuff that's kind of like broader strokes,
more general.
Yeah, I'd say is because he does talk in there about a game that people watch and it like distracts them all the time, which you could easily say could be a comparison of football or something like that. And you know, it was one of those deals where the what was I thinking of? I totally started that sentence and
Good job.
No, but I mean he goes into specifics more so in the book that are kind of different. But if you look at it as like there is something that kind of entrances the masses and keeps them subdued and things of that nature, you know.
Yeah, it's called television.
Right, pretty much. So I also was watching, so whenever we talked about Fire in the Sky, I went down this rabbit hole where I was talking about how I watch like UFO stuff and alien abduction shit every so often. And I stumbled upon this crazy video of this crazy guy. His name's Dr. Stephen Greer, right? And this
I think I've heard that name before.
Yeah, he's like an older fellow. And he apparently, I didn't get all of his credentials, but apparently he's some kind of scientist. And I don't know if all of his, I mean, I don't know why he would lie about this shit, but he goes off on some deep end stuff. But he claims, and I don't know the truth behind this, but he was some sort of scientific liaison with the United States government for a while. And he talked about how the government has already like figured out a way to produce unlimited energy. But they don't want to introduce it because basically if we continue to fight over fossil fuels, then we'll continue to pour money into the war machine. And he said that he went to France where they were making contact with these interdimensional beings.
He was there?
He said he was there.
Oh.
He said that
Very
the portal
important.
opened and these glowing beings came out and they were like flying around and flying past cars and the headlights would blink on and off, you know, and shit as they'd fly by. And he went down a path, man. I don't know if any of that shit's true.
It's not.
Yeah, I kind of figured.
It's
probably
not true, bro.
Yeah, he's
Look.
full of shit.
Conspiracy theories, here's my thing about it.
Yep.
People can't shut the fuck up
I think we've talked about this.
on the show.
Just me and you before.
Yeah, people just can't shut the fuck up.
Well, and me and you have talked about how, and we might have even talked about it on the show, but Pendulette says that, you know, whenever Nixon was trying to cover up Watergate, that he deleted 18 minutes of a video and that came out, or of an audio cassette. And nobody could keep their mouth shut about it. You know? I've seen the government fuck up a 10-year census before. Like, I doubt that they've discovered unlimited energy. So.
I'm just saying, when you tell someone a secret,
Right.
that shit still comes out.
Yeah, of course. All the time.
Like, unless it's your ride or die to the grave, best fucking friend
Right.
that will do anything for you.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else is going to tell.
Right.
Okay, so we're talking about one person will keep his mouth shut, or her mouth shut. Everybody else is going to talk.
Right. Yep.
So all these grand conspiracy theories, to me, don't hold water, man.
Kind of silly. Yep. The whole, well, jet fuel doesn't melt steel.
You know how I know there's not presidents? Or presidents. You know how I know there's not aliens?
How's that?
Because President Trump would have told us already. That dude would love to be the one who breaks the news.
Did he be all over Twitter?
Yeah. And I'm not talking about like whatever your political leanings are. I'm just talking about Donald Trump himself.
Yeah.
He would be all over, there's fucking aliens. It's the greatest thing ever. Wait until you get to meet our aliens.
Right.
They're the best aliens you've ever
They're
seen.
the best aliens.
Yeah.
Their wall technology is advanced far beyond
Yeah.
humans.
It's
wall
going to be great. Just
technology.
wait. You just see.
It's a solar wall. It generates electricity.
Oh, it's a wall that makes money.
It's also a money printer.
Yeah. So that's how I know there's no aliens. That dude can't keep his mouth shut to save his life.
No, he would definitely get excited about that and spill the beans. So, but yeah, so the Stephen Greer, I don't know, because he almost looked like he was ex-military or something to me. He's like this 60-year-old dude that's bald. He looked like the dad from Alf, but dude had fucking biceps that wouldn't stop on him. I was like,
Hell
good
yeah.
God.
Yeah.
This dude's crazy.
Go ahead, Pops.
Right?
Show
That
us
dude
them
would
guns.
ball me up and kick me around on the ground, dude. But, yeah. So that's pretty much all I watched.
Cool.
Not too much. I mean, I watched some other UFO abduction testimonies, but a lot of those people are full of shit, too. So,
You think?
man, I'd like to believe that there's a fair amount of people out there that, I mean, they're definitely not the majority, but maybe a small percentage are not talking out of their ass.
Almost
But-
nothing gets me as excited as thinking that there's aliens.
Really?
Yeah. But I'm too fucking real, man.
Yeah. I mean, it is kind of bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, they're I'm sure. This has been my argument since I've probably been in high school. So here's my two arguments for why there must be, but I can't prove aliens. Okay, number one,
Yep.
there's no evidence.
Right.
So
People will sit back and say, well, there's evidence in the pyramids and all.
No.
Well, no,
No.
I need, like, some fucking alien artifact, like a fucking, phaser or something.
I need Leonard Nimoy standing in front of me.
Right.
Yeah.
With the Spock ear.
Yeah,
and, like,
yeah.
a printout of his DNA.
Yeah, yeah. But so here's my two things: scientifically or religious. Scientifically speaking, the chances of something else being out there, like just by the odds, because there's so many fucking billions of fucking bodies of planets and all that
Yeah.
shit out there, like there's probably something out there. What form or shape or whatever it is, I don't know.
Right.
Okay, number one. Number two, religiously speaking, how like self-absorbed do you have to think that God created life just here?
Just here. It's just this one planet.
Yeah.
And then fucking, like,
And
Okay.
so whichever way you land, if you're more of a science-based person or a religious-based person, for me the logic just says there's life out there.
right.
But I can't prove it to you.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what cracks me up is in a lot of these abduction like videos that I'll find is these people talk about how they're like, oh, well, these aliens, they had, gray skin and almond-shaped eyes or whatever, and they're like, and they were all black. And I'm like, I don't even know. I think that wearing clothes is more of a human thing. Like, if you're that evolved to that point so that you've, like, figured out interdimensional or interstellar space travel and all that shit, do you really give a fuck about clothes anymore? Like, that seems like something that people came up with.
Why the fuck are they gonna abduct me?
Well, that's a valid point.
I'm not that fucking
It takes
interesting.
like 10,000 years to fly here at light speed, and then they're gonna come grab Mike.
The average dude.
Right. Well, we gotta. You notice they never grab like billionaires,
No, that's who they'd be grabbing. They would grab the most powerful men or
Right.
women on the planet.
as opposed to
Maybe the brightest men or women on the
Yeah.
planet. Maybe the most religious, significant people on the planet, like
Mm-hmm.
the Pope or some shit.
as opposed to Ma and Pa on the way back from
They're
square
not getting
dance.
fucking father of a 5-year-old who fucking works a 9 to 5.
Right. They really don't care that much.
No.
They might have grabbed a couple of them at some point and been like, well, we pretty much learned everything we can from this dude. So
Thanks for your 30 minutes of time.
yeah. We can do better than this.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we've gone from analyze this to alien talk.
Right. And how they are like discriminatory based upon your wage.
Well, not wage, but significance.
Yeah, exactly. There's the average person is easy to find. So
I think we figured out something else we need to start doing on this show.
what's that?
I think we need to start talking about some topics.
I can see that.
Some of these movies are lame.
Yeah. If it totally like when we talk about like Fight Club, I'm good with talking about that one.
Sure.
But Analyze This and Analyze That came out later in 2002, so I'm sure
I would rather spend the last hour talking to you about aliens and the possibilities.
I can see that. I hope you guys don't mind us just bullshitting. I mean, we talked about the movie, so you didn't get shortchanged.
Yeah, we did our job.
Yep.
Now we're having fun.
Now we're just babbling. But, yeah, I don't know. You know, like that whole thing with fire in the sky, finding a lumberjack in Arizona probably ain't too hard. I don't know what the fuck. But,
Nobody gives a fuck about a lumberjack.
no. Anyway, so Mike, we talked about how this film was number 1 for 2 weeks.
2 whole weeks.
So, last pick was me with Terminator Salvation.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you forgot all about that.
No, I don't understand why you picked that one.
I just wanted to talk about
You could have
it.
picked T2.
Everybody likes T2. What's there to fucking say about T2?
All kinds of cool stuff.
Well, everybody already knows.
We spent
the
half
cool
of our
stuff. episode
talking about Terminator Salvation. We talked about T2.
Well, that's true too. But have you come up with a movie for us to
Actually,
watch?
I have.
Oh, Mike's prepared.
Yep.
Because I reminded you. But
Well, if you don't remind me, I won't know.
that's true too.
I do zero research for this show.
Well, you might have some just loaded in the chamber there, bud, but I guess not.
I like to be inspired by what we watched.
Well, what were you inspired by this week? Give me a clue.
Robert De Niro.
That is interesting. Are we... No, I don't know. No idea.
Take a guess.
Raging Bull.
Nope.
Taxi Driver.
No.
Casino.
Yes.
Casino. There we go.
Number 1 in 1995.
Was it?
I don't know if it was number 1. It came out in 95. I
No,
know
it was
that.
number 1.
Came out in 95.
What's weird is Goodfellas never hit number 1. It opened at number 2 and never went any higher.
So, while watching Analyze this week, my bride decided to join me and watch the movie, which she does 30 to 40% of the time.
Picked, yeah.
Yeah. She watches the movie with me 30 to 40% of the time. She just is like, oh, I'll watch that one with you. If she thinks it sounds halfway interesting.
Sure.
And while we were watching it, she said to me, you guys should talk about Casino.
That's a good idea.
I was like, you're fucking right, we should.
Yep. I'm down for that. Because, and we'll talk about it a little bit next week, but if I had to pick between my Scorsese, De Niro gangster movies, between Goodfellas and Casino, I got a feeling that Goodfellas is probably the better movie on a technical level and maybe even a storytelling level, but I personally love Casino, dude. I think it's a great one. So I'm pumped about it.
I'm excited about it.
I actually just watched this one like 6 months ago, too.
Really?
So, yeah.
I haven't watched it in a few years,
That's pretty fresh.
but I watched it several times. So, you know, I can still see it pretty clearly in my head, but
Yeah.
I'm sure there's lots of details I've forgotten.
Well, and this is something we'll talk about next week, but anything that's based kind of in Las Vegas, I'm always down for it, just because I find Vegas to be super interesting. There's a lot of history there, you know.
Try living there for 4 years.
Well, yeah. I'm sure you got some crazy stories about that shit,
And you
too,
get to hear them next week if you tune in to Casino Royale with Cheese, starring Shane Burns and Mike Chandler.
Bickety bam.
Biggity bam.
No more shit stains in your undies.
What?
That's from Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
Oh.
Whenever the cops bust him and he's got those rolling papers and they're like, what are these? And he's like, oh, those, I just stick them in my ass crack so whenever I shit and I don't get them all over my pants, you know. And he's like, bickety bam, no more shit staying in your undies, like that. And the cop says something to him. He's like, here come the stink nuggets, and like farts all over him. It's fucking great.
I don't remember that.
Right at the beginning of the movie,
I've seen the movie. I
when
don't remember that.
Randall calls the cops on him.
I know I've seen the movie. I don't remember that.
Yeah, okay. Oh, I was actually, while I was talking about that, looking to see, because I know that Casino was on Netflix for a long time, but it
Is it
is
still there?
not anymore.
Uh-oh.
So,
I'd be fire sticking.
sucks to be you guys. Yeah, Mike finally got a decent thing going with the Fire Stick. So,
Amazon Fire Stick provides everything you want to watch.
yep,
That's all you need to know.
that's it. You can email us. I'll give you some more info. But, I think that's going to do it for me, dog. We can do social media stuff, I guess.
You should, because we've ran out of things to say.
Yeah, well, if you feel like it, you can always check us out. Our email address is cheesymovie@yahoo.com. You can hit us up there if you want. Got something you want to say. You can look us up on Facebook, Casino Royale with Cheese, all separate words. Our YouTube handle, our iTunes handle, wherever you get your podcast from, and Instagram are all Casino Royale W Cheese, all one word. And then you can go on our Twitter, Casino Royale WCH. But you're not going to find anything. So.
If you listen to this and you want to provide some feedback, let us know, because our format changed drastically from the point-by-point plot point that we used to do to now where we're kind of a more free flow. We're kind of all over the place. We talk about lots of different subjects.
More conversational.
I think it's a much more natural conversational.
I agree.
But if you feel like you missed the more like in-depth plot point format that we used to do, and you don't really like us freestyling, let us know. Like, we make this show for you guys.
Right.
So if you want it to be different or the same or more of something, give us your feedback.
Yep, that works. Because we're all about the feedback. And I like interacting with our good folks on the old YouTube anyway. So hit us up there. Haven't heard anything from our boy lately, though.
Because we didn't do his movie.
No, we didn't. So we snubbed him.
No, we need to do his
He's pretty
movie.
salty. Yeah. Well, it's your pick this week, Mike. Way to go, Mike.
Casino's too good.
Yeah, Casino's pretty fucking good. So, next week, we get to watch a good De Niro movie for once.
Yay.
Looking forward to that. And make sure you join us then. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
I'll be back.